Good morning, students. Today I am going to introduce you to your first grammar chapter for class 6. The name of the chapter is Kinds of Noun and Compound Nouns. So let's start. Before we start, let us recollect what noun is. So, what is a noun? A noun is a word used for a person, place, or thing, or an idea. Everything that we can see or talk about is represented by a word that names it. That naming word is called a noun. So noun can be a person, man, or a name, or a girl, child, Steve, place. It can be any place, city, school, home, Asia, Paris. These are the names of those places, and city, school, home. These are also noun which with a specific generic name to it, right? Animals can be dog, cat, whale, lion, bee. Things which has book, pencil, apple, flower, disease. These are all things. What are ideas? Ideas can be joy, kindness, care. These are all ideas, right? Which represents an emotion. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next concept. This was the recollection of what we had learned earlier about now. So today in this chapter, we are going to cover the following points. First, kinds of noun. Now there are 5 kinds of noun that has been discussed in this chapter. The first is common noun, second is proper noun, third is concrete noun, fourth is abstract noun, and fifth is collective noun. We'll talk about each of these in detail in the following slides. Next concept would be compound nouns. So again, there are 2 types of compound nouns, countable and uncountable. So let's move ahead. First kind of a noun, which is common noun. Now, common noun is what? It is basically a generic name. It's the word used for a class of person, place, or thing. Okay? It is a general name that you give to that particular category. You characterize or categorize them into a particular category. For example, tree, boy, person, dog, city, country. These are all common nouns. Let's come to the other one. Second is proper noun. Now, by the name of proper, we mean giving a certain name to that particular person, place, or thing. And it always begins with a capital letter. Why do you think it begins with a capital letter? As you all know, and I'm sure you must have studied, that whichever name it may be the name of a building, monument, city, person. Any of those names always starts with a capital letter. Your own name might start with a capital letter whenever you write it down, right? So therefore, any proper noun would always begin with a capital letter, and it is the name given to a person, place, or thing. Now let's look at some of the examples. Arjun, Riya, Red Fort, Taj Mahal, Singrauli, Delhi. These are all the names given to different people, place, or thing. Now let's have a comparison between the two, common nouns and proper noun. Can you see this table here? So common nouns name which are generic people, places, things, or ideas. Who is an author? An author is a person who writes books, right? So author, city, planet, language. This is the common name that you give to anything, right? But it's not specific in nature. But when you call Leo Tolstoy, who was Leo Tolstoy? He was an author, right? Used to write books for children. So he is a specific name of an author. So author is a generic term used for people who write books, whereas Leo Tolstoy is the name of a specific author. The same way, city can be many city, but particularly Paris is a particular city, right? Same way, planet, Neptune is a particular planet. Language can be any language, Hindi, English, Marathi, any language. At the same time, so Spanish is also a particular language. Let's move on to the other. Concrete noun. Things that you can see, touch or smell is a concrete noun. Something which exists physically, right? Something which you can see, touch or smell. For example, you can see the clouds, you can see the bench, you can see the flowers, you can see the sky, building, tree, etc. Anything that you can see or touch. Can you see a computer? Yes, you can. You can touch it. Can you see the maybe a frame? Yes, you can touch it. You can see a frame. It's physically present, right? So it is a concrete noun. Let's come to the next type of noun, which is an abstract noun. Things that we cannot feel, touch, or feel physically, something which we cannot see, touch, or feel physically is an abstract noun. So, most of the ideas of kindness, sincerity, happiness, brave, childhood, joy, can you touch any of these? No. Can you feel it physically? No. Can you see them physically? No. But it is a emotion, right? Happiness is an emotion. Sincerity, somebody who does their work, sincerity is called sincerity. Kindness, to be kind to people, these are things which you cannot see exclusively, but these terms exist to describe something, and that is why it is an abstract noun. So now abstract noun is usually used in poems to describe a feeling, to describe something around, right? So abstract nouns are usually used to display your emotions, to put your emotions forward, right? To put your emotions in front of everyone. So you use these terms to express yourself. Okay, so let's look at these examples and compare the concrete noun with the abstract noun. So what a concrete noun? Now, teacher is a concrete noun. Police officer, cat, pen, smart mode. Can you see, smell, or touch any of these? Yes, you can touch. You can see them. You can smell things, right? So, these are all concrete nouns. However, abstract nouns such as clever, courage, loyalty, articulate, convenience. Can you, touch any of these or see any of these? No. But it is a way of expression of a feeling, right? So it is an abstract noun. Let's come to the next, collective nouns. Now, collective nouns is a name of a group of people or things or animals that we think of as a whole. It denotes a group. So, a choir. Who do we call a choir? A group of people who sing. That's a choir, right? So, choir of singers. Team. A lot of people together in one group is called a team who working towards a common goal. That's called a team. Who's a crowd? A crowd is a lot of people who have gathered together is a crowd. Herd. So these are all different terms that we use to express or tell about a group of people or a group of animals, right? Or anything which is in a group. To describe that group, we give a term. That term is basically a collective noun, right? Let's look at these examples. A dynasty of kings, okay? A tribe of natives. So group of people, is from from a particular area is called a tribe of natives. Dynasty, same family, people are coming down from the same ruling, who are coming down from the same family are called dynasty of kings. Okay, a draft of lecturers, a pack of thieves, a lot of thieves together are called pack of thieves, a flock of tourists, a team of workers, a choir of singers, a giggle of girls, a class of students, a circle of friends, a colony of penguins. So penguins together, if you see a lot of penguins together who are moving in a group, they are called a colony of penguins. A pride of lions. So a lot of our lions together are called a pride. So it's called a pride of lions. A catch of fish, lot of fishes together. A flock of sheep. So a lot of sheep together in a group are called a flock. A zoo of wild animals. So I'm sure you're able to understand what is a collective noun, coming together as a group, as a whole. Okay? Let's come to the next topic. Compound nouns. What are compound nouns? Compound nouns are formed from two or more words. So they are not a single word, but they are formed from two or more words. Usually the second word in the compound noun is the main word. So if you have gone to see that, if you see, there are two words in a noun, compound noun, and the second part of the word is usually the main word in that compound noun. The first word usually is used to change or modify the second, to describe the second word. What was the second word? The second word is the main word, right? So to describe the second word, the first word is used, right? For example, water bottle. Now to second word is the bottle. It is the main word. Now water, describing what kind of a bottle it is. So the first word, water, describes that, right? So it's a water bottle. Swimming pool. What kind of a pool is it? It is a pool for swimming. So it's called a swimming pool. So it's describing, swimming is describing the word pool or the main word. Court martial, makeup. These are all kinds of compound nouns. Okay. Now compound words can be of three types. Hyphenated, that is with a dash. Can you see this? Hyphen around, take out, make up. These are all kinds of hyphenated compound nouns which have a hyphen in between. Okay. Now separated, which do not have a hyphen but are separated. So these two words are compound nouns. Together they form a compound noun. Tennis shoes, but they are separated but do not have a hyphen in between. Bus stop, swimming pool, these are all separated compound nouns. Okay. Third ones are joint nouns. So joint compound nouns are nouns which are joined together. The two words are joined together to form the compound nouns. Farmhouse, homework, eye opener. These are all compound nouns which are joined together. So these are some examples of joined, separated and hyphenated. So joined are haircut, bathroom, rainfall, lookout, toothbrush, input, water part. These are all joined compound nouns. Separated compound nouns are water tank, real estate, light year, full moon, post office, bus stop, etc. There are a lot of words which are separated and without a hyphen. Then comes your hyphenated words. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, dry cleaning, jack in the box, go between. So these are all words which are used with a hyphen. These are also compound nouns, but they are hyphenated. Okay, student? So let's come to the next concept, which is countable and uncountable compound nouns. Now, there is a very simple rule to it. Can you understand? Do you understand the meaning of countable, which can be counted, and uncountable, which cannot be counted? So those things which can be counted are countable nouns. For example, fire engine. Can it be counted? Yes, fire engines can be counted. You can count it, right? Pen friend, alarm clock. You can count any of these. What is a pen? Who is a pen friend? A pen friend is basically a person you've never met, but you write a letter to them. So you only communicate through letters. That's a pen friend. So you can have many pen friends, right? Alarm clock. That again you can count alarm clocks, right? But those things which cannot be counted are uncountable compound nouns. For example, sunshine. Can you count sunshine? No, you cannot. old age, common sense, fast food. All these terms you cannot count. So these are uncountable nouns. So can you see these examples? Ice cream, swimming pool, bus stop, living room, classmate. So basically you have to understand which are countable and which cannot be counted. Okay? So students, let's just summarize what it is. Common noun, it's a specific general name which is given to things or people. So car, dog, chair, these are general names, general categories in which they are put into. Proper nouns are proper names given to people, place or thing. Richard, London, January, these are names given to different things. Now, collective noun. Collective noun refers to group of people or things. Team, choir, army, etc. Compound nouns refers to two or more words combined to form a single noun. Schoolboy, orange juice, swimming pool, cheesecake. These are all compound nouns. What are concrete nouns? Now, concrete nouns are which you can see, touch or smell, which is building, beach, bridge, table, chair, etc. Now abstract nouns are those which you cannot smell, touch or see physically. Exactly, so time, friendship, joy, love, kindness, these are things which are emotions which are expressed but cannot be seen. Right? Okay, students, that is all for today. I hope you will be able to do the exercises behind your behind your book. So please try and do all the exercises, and I'll come and back and discuss all the answers for the same. Thank you.